Okay, okay, everybody good. All right, well, good evening and welcome to the November 6th Glenville Town Board meeting. We call it to order, and all rise for the invocation, please. Chaplain Diaz, thank you.
Yes, sir. Join me as you're able. Heavenly Father, we gather here today with gratitude for this community we call home. Thank you for each person present, for the unique contributions they bring, and for the shared commitment to our town's well-being. Bless our leaders with visions and grant us all the strength to serve with humility and kindness. May our actions today reflect our highest hope for our town and for future generations. In your name we ask these things. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Chaplain. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Ramachar.
Here.
Councilman Blue.
Here.
Councilman Hurd.
Here.
Councilman Kirkland.
Here. And I'll move to my left for town reports and with Councilman Aragosa.
So the GECC was unable to have a quorum at their last meeting a week ago, Monday. People out of town and other meetings got in the way, so that meeting did not happen. I did sit in on the zoning board of appeals meeting, which was very well run, and I was glad to sit in and listen. And they only had one item on the agenda. It was pretty well agreed upon by everybody that it was a good plan to go ahead and not interfere with the person's use of their property. So that is all.
Very good. Thank you, Councilman. And I'll move over to my right, Councilman Galuli.
I just want to mention that Ann Peltier retired on Halloween Day from the police department. Ann was a longtime employee of the town of Glenville, full-time, and then most recently part-time. So I just want to wish her best wishes in her retirement. And nothing else to report.
Yeah. Is that all, Councilman?
That's all.
Thank you very much, and I'll echo that as well. And you worked personally with her, so we know how sweet she was and what a valuable asset she was to the department and to the town as well. And certainly, I echo your thoughts as well. That we wish her well. Thank you, Councilman Ramatar.
No reports.
Thank you very much. With that, we will now move on to, we have a pretty lengthy agenda this evening, but I think we'll work right through this. And we'll move on to our first public hearing. And it's a public hearing for all people wishing to be heard about the town water district to provide supplied water to areas formerly known as Water District 2. So I will open that public hearing for anyone wishing to be heard at this public hearing. Anyone wishing to be heard? Anyone wishing to be heard? I'm going to now close that public hearing. That public hearing is closed. And now we will move on to item number 6, which is a public hearing. And this public hearing is for individuals wishing to be heard, making objections to the preliminary 25 budget. That public hearing is now open. Anyone wishing to be heard? Anyone wishing to be heard? For the last time, anyone wishing to be heard? That public hearing is now closed. We'll move on to item number 7, and item number 7 is a public hearing for anyone wishing to be heard, making objections to the proposed amendments to the electrical code. And this is just adding in there verbiage for inspections that that'll be taking place. So I will now open that public hearing. Anyone wishing to be heard? Is there anyone wishing to be heard? Anyone wishing to be heard? Seeing no one, we'll now close that public hearing, and we'll move on to item number 8, and that is privilege of the floor. There is no one signed up for privilege of the floor this evening, but anybody in our audience, if you would like to address the board, please come up to the podium and state your name. We'll open the privilege of the floor now, and anyone else, anyone wishing to come to speak at privilege of the floor? Anyone wishing to be heard at the privilege of the floor? For the last time, seeing no one is wanting to be heard this evening, the privilege of the floor is now closed. We'll move on to supervisors' comments. I'm going to keep them pretty brief. I'm happy to say that the Halloween trunk or treat was a huge success, which I attended in Indian Meadows Park. Certainly would like to thank the police department and the many volunteer fire departments and our town workers for making this such an amazing event. I did spend the day there, and there were, I would guess there was upwards of 1,000 people there throughout the whole day. The dentist will not be happy. We handed out a lot of candy, so but it was an extremely fun event and a safe place in a beautiful park. So I commend everybody for a job well done with the trunk or treat event. Thanks to all the efforts of the PD and everyone else. Now I'd just like to take a moment to, in November's edition of Your Hometown, this is why I'm going to keep my statements brief. I would encourage residents or people outside of our community to go and grab one of these. They can read up on all the amazing things that are actually happening in our community, things that are happening, that have happened, and that are going to happen. There's a lot of stuff going on in our community, so grab one of these and check it out, see what's going on in the town of Glenville. And that's all I have for supervisor comments. So with that being said, I will now move on to our normal agenda, and that would be resolution number 10. And this resolution is adopting the proposed improvements to the extension of Water District 11 to provide town-supplied water to an area formerly known as Water District 2. Do I have a motion to move that?
I'll move it.
And do I have a second? I'll second it. And any discussion on this? Council, would you like to just add a brief comment about this as you did the last time to, tell people what this is?
Sure.
Entail?
For the Water District number 2, which is part of the industrial park, part of that is being added to Water District 11. So Water District 11 is being extended to that part of Water District 2. There are certain improvements being made to Water District 11 that are going to benefit all of the parcels that are going to end up in Water District 11. And the Comptroller's Office preferred that we do a separate public hearing and resolution for the extension part. We did the improvement part last year. So this is to comply with the Comptroller's requirements.
So thank you, Council.
You're talking New York State Controller?
New York State Comptroller.
Thank you.
Thank you, Council. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Brennan?
Yes.
Councilman Blumer?
Yes.
Councilman Arizona?
Yes.
Councilman Kirkland?
Yes, resolution passes. On to resolution 11, resolution adopting the 25 preliminary budget as the 25 final budget and for the town of Glenville for fiscal year commencing January 1 of 25. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion?
At this point, I would like to entertain a amendment to the preliminary budget, removing pay raises for all elected officials. So my amendment would be we're going to remove the pay raises for all the elected officials.
we have a motion?
Yeah, we have a motion pending, so you
Right,
can't
so
make a motion.
right, the motion on the floor is to adopt the 25 preliminary budget as the 25 final budget. That motion has been moved and seconded by you. The discussion right.
It can't be amended.
It can be amended, but there's a motion pending, and the amendment would have to be reflected in discussions between the town board at some point to propose whatever the amendments would be. So this is just a discussion part of the motion to adopt the preliminary budget as the final budget.
So at this point, it's too late for me to amend the budget.
It's not too late to amend the budget. There has to be a vote on whether the preliminary budget is going to be adopted as the final budget. That's the order of business
And then
before the board.
Then I can amend it after we've adopted.
Well, you can't amend anything on your own. You can
You
make
can
a motion.
to amend it after we've adopted it.
Well, you can make a motion when there's not another motion pending. And you can't make a motion after you've adopted it. Once you've adopted it, you've adopted it.
Okay, then I'll rescind my amendment.
Well, it can remain in the record for discussion
Right,
purposes.
you can have discussion, Councilman.
Oh, yeah. So on the discussion, I just don't feel that we've done that in the past, given raises to elected officials other than we've never done it in a non-election year, and now all of a sudden we're doing that, and I'm uncomfortable with it. So that would be my discussion, or my comment.
Anything further?
I mean, I'm at a point where I can't go ahead and make an amendment, so there is nothing further. It's, we're kind of stuck in a bad position because I don't feel like we should be giving raises to ourselves in a non-election year, and it's in the budget, and I felt like it should have been taken out, and it wasn't. So, apparently I'm kind of stuck. I mean, it's not a lot of money, so it's not something I think that we should hold up the entire town budget over. But I do believe that it's a principal issue that we're going down a path that we shouldn't be going down. Well, we're setting precedent that we probably shouldn't be setting. That's my opinion, and that's where I am at with this budget.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Galuli?
Well, I'm going to concur with Councilman Aragosa with his feelings about the elected officials' raises in the budget, specifically the town council members and the acting supervisor's position. I just feel 3 out of 4 of us up here are in new positions, and here we are voting on raises for ourselves. And I just, for me, I just don't think that's an appropriate thing right now. But for the rest of the budget and for the other elected officials, the town clerk and the highway superintendent, I do agree with. So that's where I'm at with it.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Ramaker?
I'm going to make no comment. I think, you can't separate the some elected and non-elected. As everyone mentioned, it's an insignificant amount, but there are full-time employees that are elected that work extremely hard. And in the private sector, it would be almost impossible not to give some sort of increase, knowing that inflation is going to happen regardless. And again, we're not talking about a lot of money, but it's not something that is unheard of. So I'm not going to make a comment because in the last so many years being on a town board, I haven't heard that comment as to we're not giving a raise because it's not an election year. That's a different one to me.
Thank you, Councilman. And for the record, for discussion, I would just like to, I always like to work off of facts, right? And, certainly all of the statements that are made certainly substantial. I'll just say that, I'll reiterate the fact that all of our electeds do work very hard. They're here doing the people's work, if not on a daily basis, certainly on a monthly basis or weekly basis, as the councilmen do as well. Certain roles, especially, the role of the highway superintendent, the clerk, and the supervisor. I can tell you, we're actively engaged with our community and, always trying to find creative ways to, save funds. And I just want to quantify this because I really don't think that this is really geared in a manner that is really serving the people. I think it's more self-serving of a political motivation rather than serving the needs of the people. And again, I want to just bring some substance to this. We are talking about 0.6 of a penny. If you look at the overall impact to this, so the average home in the town of Glenville, 7,222 parcels. Each of those parcels would have a $1.18 increase for a whole year if this is passed and given elected raises. So again, I like to bring things to reality as well. And I would just like to also point out the fact that for a Scotia resident, because Scotia residents do pay into the town as well, so the impact for a household in the village of Scotia to give our electeds who show up and work diligently every day to provide the services that are required to run and manage a $22 million budget is 80 cents. 80 cents. So, I do believe that, dollars have value, but I can tell you that showing up every day and working hard for the resident, I've found that, we have come up with ways to already save the town substantial money by identifying, some personal, professional service contracts that we've identified and made some large savings. We've brought printing of our tax bills back in-house, which has saved a substantial amount of paving. And work collectively, again, when I come here, I work collectively with department heads, and we've found creative ways to provide paving at lower levels of cost as well. And lastly, I would just like to point out that the councilman pointed to the fact that that this is a rarity and it doesn't happen. So I did a little bit of research, and out of the last 7 years, only 2 of those years raises were not provided to our elected. So again, I would like to say that, even though I do believe that, everything has validity, I just want to quantify this and say that the impact is very negligible. It's a very, very small impact. And, our people do work very, very hard, myself included, but there are other members of the elected that serve this community in a way that is fiscally responsible every single day of the week. So with that, that's all I have. So we have a motion, we have a second discussion, and will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Ramsden?
Yes.
Councilman Dooley?
Yes.
Councilman Aragosa?
Yes.
Councilman Kirkland?
Yes, the motion passes. So we'll move on to resolution 12, adopting the proposed local law amending the code for the electrical code inspections. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you. Moved and seconded. Any discussion?
Yeah, just, so this is a motion to bring electrical inspection in-house, which is going to, we're going to see significant revenue from this plan. And the new town inspectors are capable of doing this work, which is great. And I appreciate Tony and his staff for getting this up and going.
Yeah, agreed. Is there any further discussion?
No.
I would just like to add as well, I do appreciate the building and planning department, Naeem, Justin, and Jim do an amazing job. And, more than just adding this to the code, it really brings safety measures to our town to make sure that things are done in an extremely safe manner for residents or for renters. So I'm pleased to hear this. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Ramichardt?
Yes.
Councilman Blue?
Yes.
Councilman Aragosa?
Yes.
Councilman Kirkland?
Yes, resolution passes. On to 13, a resolution approving the preliminary capital expense budget for Water District 11, extension number 10 through 52 for the year of 2025. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Moved and second. Any discussion? And this is just approving the expenses for that, so we can do billing for these water districts. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Ramichardt?
Yes.
Councilman Blue?
Yes.
Councilman Aragosa?
Yes.
Councilman Kirkland?
Yes, the resolution passes. On to 14, a resolution approving the preliminary capital budget for sewer district number 9 and extension number 7 for year of 2025. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Moved and seconded. And as discussed with the water district, this is the exact same thing, but for a sewer district. Any further discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Ramichardt?
Yes.
Councilman Blue?
Yes.
Councilman Aragosa?
Yes.
Councilman Kirkland?
Yes. On to resolution 15, resolution approving the preliminary capital expense budget for sewer district number 1 for 20 of 25. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? And just as stated in the above, this is approving the expenses for that sewer district for 2025. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Ramichardt?
Yes.
Councilman Blue?
Yes.
Councilman Aragosa?
Yes.
Councilman Kirkland?
Yes. On to 16, a resolution approving the preliminary capital expense budget for sewer district number 2 for 20 of 25. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded, and as stated with the above, this is setting those assessments as well. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Ramichardt?
Yes.
Councilman Blue?
Yes.
Councilman Aragosa?
Yes.
Councilman Kirkland?
Yes. And on to 17, a resolution adopting the assessment roll for Water District 11, 10 through 25. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. And this is establishing those fees that we've established previously for these water districts. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Ramichardt?
Yes.
Councilman Blue?
Yes.
Councilman Aragosa?
Yes.
Councilman Kirkland?
Yes. On to 18, resolution adopting the assessment roll for sewer district number 9 and extension number 7. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. And any discussion? And I'll just add, this is exactly the same as the last one we did. This is setting the assessment rolls for that district. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Ramichardt?
Yes.
Councilman Blue?
Yes.
Councilman Aragosa?
Yes.
Councilman Kirkland?
Yes. On to 19, resolution adopting the assessment roll for sewer district number 1. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Moved and second. And any discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Ramichardt?
Yes.
Councilman Blue?
Yes.
Councilman Aragosa?
Yes.
Councilman Kirkland?
Yes. On to 20, resolution adopting the assessment roll for sewer district number 2. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Ramichardt?
Yes.
Councilman Blue?
Yes.
Councilman Aragosa?
Yes.
Councilman Kirkland?
Yes. On to 21, a resolution authorizing the chief of police to purchase new lockers for the police department. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
And do I have a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion?
Yes, this is a resolution authorizing the police chief to purchase new lockers for the remodeled locker room for the police department, not to exceed $8,870.05. And with that cost being reimbursable through the New York State Dormitory Authority.
Thank you, Councilman. Any further discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Ramichardt?
Yes.
Councilman Delory,
Yes.
Councilman Zaragoza?
Yes.
Councilman Kirkland?
Yes. On to 22, resolution authorizing the acting supervisor to serve as authorized official and related to the terms of a grant agreement between Northern Borders Regional Commission, which is providing grant funding for the Industrial Park Water Main Connection Project. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
And do I have a second?
Second.
Moved in second. And this is exactly that. Chris was on this grant for the water extension and the water upgrade improvements within the industrial park. And now, because of the transition that happened, they're going to put me on as the official authorized signer. So, no further discussion. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilman Ramichardt?
Yes.
Councilman Delory,
Yes.
Councilman Zaragoza?
Yes.
Councilman Kirkland?
Yes, resolution passes. On to 23, a resolution authorizing Yates Mansion change order to address the west wall instability. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Any discussion?
So it says in cost of structurally temporary shoring. Just for Peter, is this include the actual repair or just the shoring up of it? Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you.
Any further discussion? Thank you, Deputy Commissioner. And will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Ramichardt?
Yes.
Councilman Delory,
Yes.
Councilman Zaragoza?
Yes.
Councilman Kirkland?
Yes. On to 24, resolution appointing Corinna Frederickson to the position of stenographer for the Zoning Board of Appeals. This vacancy has occurred due to Nick leaving our employment, and Corinna is willing to fill that role. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Moved in second. Any discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Ramichardt?
Yes.
Councilman Delory,
Yes.
Councilman Zaragoza?
Yes.
Councilman Kirkland?
Yes. On to 25, a resolution authorizing the purchase of a storage building for the town of Glenville. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
And do I have a second?
Second.
Moved in second. Any discussion?
So as I understand, this is the purchase of the building. We're going to see later another resolution for the actual assembly and fit up.
Correct.
Okay.
Peter, would you like to comment more on that, or?
Yeah, so this is
Thank you, Peter.
Thank you.
And I'd just like to add also, this is definitely going to be an enhancement for our record retention to move the police department towards the accreditation process too. So thanks for the efforts on this. Any further discussion?
This is funded through ARPA.
Yes.
Where are we with our ARPA funds? Any idea? Like,
I mean, at the end of the year,
we'll be zero, correct?
We will be zeroed out because we have to be.
Gotcha.
So everything will be committed to either a project or to goods. Okay?
Thank you.
clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Ramichardt?
Yes.
Councilman Blue?
Yes.
Councilman Aragosa?
Yes.
Councilman Kirkland?
Yes. On to resolution 26, resolution authorizing the highway superintendent to contract with Callahan Industries for street resurfacing with 1 inch of 6.3 top course. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
And do I have a second?
Second.
Moved in second. Any discussion?
So this is actually just to finish up, the work is already done.
Correct.
We're just paying the bills.
We are. We're formalizing, this was identified within the 284 agreement, just to be perfectly clear. The funds that were allocated for the 284 that were already approved, we're just being 100%, transparent here and showing who the contractor was that performed the work. That's all this is. Okay?
Thank you.
All right. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Ramichardt?
Yes.
Councilman Blue?
Yes.
Councilman Aragosa?
Yes.
Councilman Kirkland?
Yes, resolution passes. On to 27, a resolution authorizing the highway superintendent to purchase a new dump body from Steel Sales for vehicle G9. That's a large dump truck. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Moved in second. Any discussion?
This is a item that was in the budget from last year, or this year's budget.
It is a budgeted item.
Okay, thank you.
Correct, Josh? Yes. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Ramichardt?
Yes.
Councilman Blue?
Yes.
Councilman Aragosa?
Yes.
Councilman Kirkland?
Yes, resolution passes. On to 28, a resolution establishing a stipend for the Commissioner of Public Works. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Moved in second. Any discussion on this? I would just like to add that Superintendent Capola also acts in the capacity of our Commissioner of Public Works with added responsibilities. We thank him for his efforts and his work, and with that, a separate stipend goes with this, aside from his highway superintendent salary that is stated in the budget as well. So, any further discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Ramichardt?
Yes.
Councilman Blue?
Yes.
Councilman Aragosa?
Yes.
Councilman Kirkland?
Yes, resolution passes. On to resolution 29, a resolution authorizing the town of Glenville to participate in Galveston Area Council HGAC Cooperative Purchasing Program. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Moved in second. Any discussion?
So this is like a consortium for purchasing purposes, similar to, there's one out there called BidNet. Is that
Yeah,
the
this
same?
is a exactly, it's a cooperative purchasing program, which is established and approved through OGS. And if you, Josh, you want to elaborate on this a tiny bit?
Yeah, so this is the purchasing co-op, East and West area council. This is the program that has a resolution and contracting company from across the town. This is definitely going to be part of the co-op, and we're going to be purchasing a dump truck.
Perfect, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And we certainly feel this gives us added buying power, and we can be extremely competitive as well. So, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Ramichardt?
Yes.
Councilman Blue?
Yes.
Councilman Aragosa?
Yes.
Councilman Kirkland?
Yes, resolution passes. On the 30, resolution authorizing the acting town supervisor to enter into contract with Bellamy Construction for the industrial park water main connection project. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
And do I have a second?
Second.
Moved in second. Any discussion?
I'm just glad to see that we're hiring a Glenville-based company to do this project. Fantastic.
Certainly. I would definitely add, though, that this did go out to a competitive bid, just to be perfectly clear on that. Bellamy was the actual lowest bidder out of how many? 3 bidders. So this is done on a competitive bid cycle, and Bellamy is going to be awarded the bid. So I do agree. I'm thankful that they are a local business, and they were the lowest bidder. No further discussion. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Ramsar.
Yes.
Councilman Blue.
Yes.
Councilman Aragosa.
Yes.
Councilman Kirkland.
Yes, resolution passes. And on to 31, a resolution scheduling a public hearing for Wednesday, November 20th, right here at the Town Hall at 7 p.m. for the grass and brush and weeds property maintenance, administrative fees, and basically just to summarize this, this is for properties that are neglected and we need to hire somebody to go in and clean them up because they have deferred maintenance problems. So then we can assess a fee to that property, and if it's not paid, we can then put that on their tax rolls through the county. Any further discussion? Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
Do I have a second?
Second.
I got ahead of myself. So, any discussion?
Yeah, it's a public hearing, so.
Oh, thank you. Sorry about that. Sorry about that, Joe. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Ramsar.
Yes.
Councilman Blue.
Yes.
Councilman Aragosa.
Yes.
Councilman Kirkland.
Yes, so that public hearing is scheduled. So on to resolution 32, resolution scheduling a public hearing on November 20th. And that is right here at the Municipal Center as well at 7 p.m. And this is for all persons interested in the water, in the sewer District 9, adding a parcel, which is 23.13-2-16, located at 111 Glen Hill in Glenville. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Moved in second. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Ramsar.
Yes.
Councilman Blue.
Yes.
Councilman Aragosa.
Yes.
Councilman Kirkland.
Yes, a public hearing is now scheduled. And resolution 33, a resolution approving the minutes of the regular board meeting held on October 16th. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
And do I have a second?
Second.
Moved in second. Any discussion?
It's just a resolution approving the minutes which we all received in our email.
Thank you, Councilman. Any further discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Ramsar.
Yes.
Councilman Blue.
Yes.
Councilman Aragosa.
Yes.
Councilman Kirkland.
Yes, resolution passes. Now on to new business, and I'll start on my left with Councilman Aragosa.
November 11th, Monday is Veterans Day. There will be a ceremony held at Legacy Park at 11. I believe it is, right?
It is, correct. Yep.
Please come out. This Friday night, the Rotary, I believe, is running a program at ESAM. It's a tasting. All the proceeds go to the veterans as well. So if anybody wants to go to any of those, they sound like real fun events.
Thank you.
That is all.
Thank you. Councilman Blue,
No new business.
Councilman Ramsey,
Nothing new.
and Councilman Aragosa stole my thunder. So, I would encourage people to get out and come to a beautiful venue at Legacy Park, and let's honor our vets with that ceremony, and also go out to ESAM and enjoy some beer and other festivities, and supporting our veterans and Legacy Park as well. That's all I have. I'll take a motion to adjourn.
I'll move it.
And a second.
Second.
Moved in second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned.
Not bad.